Hello my dear friends, welcome back to another video. So I consider myself a very positive Star Wars fan. I always try to talk about the things I love, but unfortunately today we have a pretty depressing situation. One that is bad for Star Wars fans, but good for the MCU. It concerns a new development for Star Wars Celebration. While we expect some big things on the animated front, there isn't much in terms of live action, and the shows and movies that are going to be spoken about are things we already know. And they're not even doing a live action showcase this year. The most exciting thing I'm anticipating is a trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu. And today, my dear friends, it just got a bit worse. Oscar Isaac, who was a confirmed guest, has cancelled his appearance. He was going to appear for the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens. On top of this, there was a bit of fan speculation he might be there to confirm his return as Poe Dameron for the Rey movie. But unfortunately, due to changes in Oscar's production schedule, it's not happening. And this sparked a few theories as to why this is the case, why things changed. The most likely reason is that he's filming for Avengers Doomsday, which does overlap with Star Wars Celebration. So before we talk about why this is so important, I do find myself in a very interesting position because this is bad news for Star Wars, but on the other hand it's good news for the MCU, which I don't talk about. I'm a Star Wars channel through and through. Unlike many other channels, I don't dive into wider pop culture, but because this relates to both, today I'm both Star Wars Meg and Marvel Meg, because news outlets and Marvel fans have already started talking about the implications of this for the MCU, and it is a pretty important topic. So I'm going to begin by talking about the implications for the Star Wars universe, talking about how this affects the post-Episode 9 world, how Lucasfilm's plans may have changed, and then I'm going to talk about the implications for Moon Knight in Avengers Doomsday. So if we go a bit deeper with the Star Wars conspiracies about this, it's been a very strange week for sequel trilogy news. Earlier in the week, contradicting statements he made back in 2020 and 2021, John Boyega called out Star Wars fans and moved pointing the finger from Disney to the fandom. And in my video where I spoke about it, I acknowledge that while there have been some awful comments towards him about some of the things he was talking about, those are the minority of fans, and how most fans who had grievances with the sequels wanted Finn to have a bigger role in those movies. He should be frustrated with Disney and Lucasfilm, the way they wrote his character, not Star Wars fans. But all of that controversy aside, it's very bizarre he decided to say those things now, and fans began connecting the dots, and wondering, is he not in the Rey movie? Because he wouldn't be saying all of this if he knew his character was about to have more screen time, a second shot. Especially in light of Disney's recent PR stuff with Snow White, they would be far more cautious in regards to terms of contract of what actors can say. He wouldn't be saying all of this if he was in the movie and filming was imminent. And if Star Wars Celebration was going to have a cast announcement, you think Oscar Isaac would prioritize it. So I'm starting to think, is the Rey movie further delayed? Are they not bringing back these characters? Because originally it was slated as Lucasfilm's priority, but now the other movies are getting updates, but the one by Sharmina Bay-Chenoy keeps getting pushed back. Even Daisy Ridley said she doesn't know when it's going to film. We're getting more updates about the James Mangold film and the one by Sean Levy with Ryan Gosling than the Rey movie. So I'm starting to wonder, is something bigger going on? Is Lucasfilm going to abandon it? I'm not saying that's the case. I'm by no means saying that's confirmed. I'm just starting to read between the lines. Because think of it this way. Every single time we have an update for the Rey movie, it's because they fired a writer. And the latest update is even more hilarious. Daisy Ridley just wants you to know the Rey movie is fine. We're all fine here now, thank you. I mean, this really does sum it up. Every update is a vague statement. Seemingly no plans for principal photography, just a vague, oh yes, it's still happening. I've read some early scripts. It looks great, but in more concrete terms, it's just the new Rian Johnson trilogy all over again. And there's no panel for this movie at Star Wars Celebration, not that we know of. There's one for The Mandalorian and Grogu, one for Ahsoka Season 2, one for Andor Season 2, but nothing that suggests a cast announcement or anything concerning the Rey stuff. And just consider this, with Oscar Isaac now pulling out, there's more of a chance Manny Jacinto announces an Acolyte Season 2 than fans getting anything for the Rey movie. I don't mean to sound negative, but I'm just highlighting the situation as it is. Our best bet for anything juicy is the Andor panel, the Ahsoka panel, and the Mandalorian and Grogu. That's what I'm most excited about. And before we move on, guys, make sure to hit the big subscribe button down below, ring the bell for notifications, because I will be covering everything from Celebration. I hope it's going to be a very fun weekend. I am optimistic. But when it comes to the movie side, other than The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is going to be the big one, don't expect anything for the others. So now, my dear friends, let's talk about the MCU. Here's an interesting and popular take on this. Moon Knight star Oscar Isaac's next MCU appearance may have been revealed by his Star Wars Celebration cancellation. Moon Knight premiered on Disney Plus in 2022, a time period that was pretty prosperous for the platform. We were coming out of the global you-know-what, and Disney Plus had a lot to offer for both Star Wars and Marvel fans. The Kenobi Show, Tales of the Jedi, and all Season 1, but in relation to Oscar Isaac and the MCU, Moon Knight. And while it was a little rough around the edges, at least according to a lot of fans, many agreed that Oscar Isaac was fantastic, and unfortunately we haven't seen the character since. The show ended with Mark Spector and Stephen Grant seemingly freed from Khonshu's influence, only for us to learn that a third personality, the ultra-violent Jake Lockley, was still doing the Moon God's bidding in secret. And now that Oscar Isaac's excuse for not going to Star Wars Celebration is, quote, changes in his production schedule, it has MCU fans scratching their heads. While not confirmed, the immediate speculation is he's going to shoot for a little project, I'm being sarcastic of course, Avengers Doomsday. Moon Knight was supposed to play a key role in Avengers The Kang Dynasty, and would have been an exciting addition to a story like this. There are no longer plans for Moon Knight Season 2, so introducing moviegoers to this character before a possible Midnight Suns makes all the sense in the multiverse. I'm not Marvel Meg, I'm Star Wars Meg, but I think it's relevant to talk about this in the context of why Oscar Isaac is no longer going to Celebration. It doesn't rule out the possibility of Poe Dameron in the Simon Kinberg trilogy or the Rey movie, but it did get me thinking about the wider implications. It seems to confirm he wasn't at Celebration to announce his return to Star Wars, which is going to be disappointing for many fans. Also something to look forward to at Star Wars Celebration, there's a panel for the Jedi games, celebrating the stories of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. Because the focus for Star Wars gaming is going to be on the Bits Reactor Respawn game that is codenamed Star Wars Bruno, we're probably not going to hear anything for the third Jedi game. Respawn needs more time to adjust to the new engine, and there have been reports that Jedi 3 will not come out until 2027 at the earliest, so it's probably not going to be spoken about. It's a little bit premature. I'd love for there to be something, but I don't expect it. As a result of some of these delays, I'm just being speculative and hopeful, but maybe Lucasfilm decided to fast-track Cal Kestis to live action. Imagine if he appears in The Mandalorian and Grogu. Cameron Monaghan is a passionate Star Wars fan, one who is open to make that jump. Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor were very successful. However, the video game industry has faced significant challenges in recent times, with studio closures, game cancellations, and job losses impacting many talented developers. Some of this is partly due to the skyrocketing cost of video game development, with budgets ballooning exponentially as studios push for bigger, more ambitious worlds and experiences. Last spring alone, EA announced a major corporate shakeup. 5% of its workforce lost their jobs, but as a result, they made blockbuster storytelling their priority. But gamers will have to wait another 2 years at least to play it. So that is all the latest news, my dear friends. Share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, show me some love, and as always, I hope you have an amazing day, and may the Force be with you, always.